Let's start our first news. Dana White believes Garry might never get another opportunity to fight for the UFC title, especially against Islam. Looking back at their fight, Dana explained that he thought Ian had done some great work throughout the first 4 rounds. In fact, when the fight started and Islam had Ian against the fence, Dana told Hunter that if Islam continued using that strategy for 5 rounds, he could be in big trouble in the final round. But according to Dana, Ian made a major mistake when the 5th round began. Instead of pushing forward and doing everything possible to finish one of the greatest fighters of all time, Ian appeared to shift his focus toward respecting Islam, eventually shaking his hand and showing appreciation. Dana made it clear that he was not attacking Ian personally. He described him as a classy and genuinely nice guy. However, when you have only 5 minutes left in a championship fight, every second matters. Dana's message was simple. Ian had spent his entire life working for that opportunity, and once he reached the 5th round, he needed to fight like the title was still within reach. You can shake hands, hug your opponent, take pictures, and tell him how great he is after the fight. But during those final 5 minutes, there is only one priority: win. Dana also questioned whether that killer mentality can actually be taught. In his opinion, some fighters naturally have it, while others make one mistake and learn from it. For Ian, that mistake could be extremely costly because Dana believes he may never get another chance to fight Islam for the title. Move on to another news. Alex Pereira is not happy with an MMA content creator after his recent comments about a potential fight between Alex and Sergey Pavlovich. Recently, an MMA YouTuber named Carlos Figueira posted a video with Taliesin Teixeira where they discussed how a matchup between Alex and Pavlovich could play out. During their prediction, Carlos argued that Pavlovich is a physical tank and could potentially take Alex down because of his sambo and wrestling background. The comments didn't stop there. Last month, Pavlovich's training partner, Walter Walker, also claimed that Alex would have no chance against Pavlovich. Alex eventually came across Carlos's comments and decided to fire back on Instagram. Alex strongly criticized the creator, calling his channel irrelevant and accusing him and his friends of twisting the meaning of the conversation. He also questioned why anyone would claim that he was trying to act superior or step on other people. Alex then took an even bigger shot, saying that if he hadn't mentioned the channel on his Instagram stories, almost nobody would have known about it. But Alex wasn't finished. He argued that saying Pavlovich could take him down whenever he wanted was actually worse than calling the channel irrelevant, because, in his words, he was simply telling the truth. The exchange quickly grabbed attention because Alex has competed against some of the most dangerous strikers in MMA, while Pavlovich has built a reputation around his devastating power and aggressive wrestling. A fight between the two would create a fascinating clash of styles. Pavlovich would likely look to use his physical strength and wrestling to control Alex, while Alex would be searching for the perfect opportunity to unleash his world-class striking. For now, there is no confirmed matchup, but Alex has made his position very clear. Move on to another news. Jorge Masvidal could finally be getting closer to a UFC comeback, and this time, it sounds like something may actually be happening. Earlier this year, Jorge was hoping to compete on the UFC's White House card. After that opportunity passed, there was also talk about a possible return around International Fight Week. However, both events came and went, and fans were still left without any concrete announcement. That led some people to question whether Jorge was genuinely planning to return or simply keeping himself in the headlines. Chael Sonnen even suggested that the repeated comeback talk was being used to maintain attention. But now, Jorge's latest comments suggest that negotiations with the UFC are moving in the right direction. Speaking with MMA Junkie, Jorge revealed that he has been in talks with the UFC for some time. He explained that the numbers involved are getting closer and better, and because of that, there could be some big news coming soon. Jorge also admitted that he doesn't currently have a specific opponent locked in. According to him, the UFC hasn't given him any name worth mentioning yet. However, one fighter immediately stood out when the conversation turned toward potential opponents: Leon Edwards. Jorge made it clear that Leon is someone he would like to face, especially because there is still some unfinished business between them. Their history goes back years, and while their original rivalry has cooled down over time, Jorge believes a fight with Leon could be the perfect way to close that chapter. Jorge explained that he's waiting for the right name and the right financial number attached to it. Once both sides agree, he believes fans could see him right back inside the UFC, potentially at T-Mobile Arena. And when Leon Edwards was brought up, Jorge didn't hesitate. He described Leon as a legitimate prospect and someone he would like to fight. For now, nothing has been officially confirmed, but Jorge's latest comments are certainly more promising than his previous comeback teases. If the UFC and Jorge can finalize the deal, a return could be coming sooner than expected. And a fight with Leon Edwards could finally give fans the chance to see this old rivalry settled inside the octagon. Move on to another news. RDR is already looking ahead to his next fight, and it appears he has two names firmly on his radar: Khalil Rountree and Navajo Sterling. After making the move to the light heavyweight division, RDR revealed that the weight cut was far from easy. Even though he successfully made the 205-pound limit, he admitted that he still had a significant amount of weight to lose before stepping on the scale. It wasn't exactly a walk in the park, but RDR got the job done and was able to compete without any major problems. Now, attention has quickly shifted toward what's next. When RDR was asked who he would prefer to face between Khalil Rountree, Navajo Sterling, and Robert Whittaker, he immediately made his choice clear. Whittaker was not the name he wanted. Instead, RDR pointed directly toward Khalil and Navajo, making it clear that either matchup would interest him. According to RDR, both fights would be good options, and he believes he could return relatively quickly. That's especially important because he came out of his latest fight without any serious injuries. RDR explained that his hand was hurting slightly, something he said had never really happened to him before, but he didn't believe it would become a major issue. That means a return could potentially happen sooner rather than later. RDR's move to light heavyweight has already created plenty of possibilities. At middleweight, he was competing against some of the division's strongest fighters, but moving up to 205 pounds gives him an entirely new group of opponents. Khalil Rountree brings explosive striking and dangerous power, while Navajo Sterling represents another intriguing challenge for RDR as he continues adjusting to the new division. And with RDR already calling for both names, the UFC has several options available. The timing could also work in his favor. RDR was recently asked about the upcoming UFC dates that have been announced, suggesting that he could potentially target one of those events if the right opponent and opportunity come together. For now, nothing is officially booked, but RDR has made his intentions very clear. He's healthy, he's already thinking about his next fight, and both Khalil Rountree and Navajo Sterling are firmly on his list. Move on to another news. Tyron Woodley has every reason to feel confident after finally getting his hand raised again, ending an 8-year winless stretch with a dramatic comeback victory at Real American Freestyle. Woodley had not won a fight in MMA or boxing since his 2018 UFC welterweight title defense against Darren Till. But that long drought finally came to an end when he defeated Joaquin Buckley by a 14-8 score. What made the victory even more impressive was how he got it done. Woodley found himself down 0-8 before completely turning the match around and taking the win. According to Tyron, that kind of comeback had never happened to him before in his entire wrestling career. He explained that he wasn't simply thinking about getting his first victory in years. Instead, what stood out to him was the fact that he had fallen behind, staged a comeback, and actually finished the night as the winner. For Woodley, that was a huge confidence boost. He said that since he first started wrestling at just 10 years old, he had never experienced a comeback like this. Now, that experience is giving him additional motivation heading into his next challenge. And that challenge is a big one. Woodley is scheduled to face Khamzat in the main event of RAF Moscow on September 5th. Interestingly, Woodley isn't looking at Khamzat only as an opponent. He believes Khamzat has what it takes to eventually become a UFC champion. Woodley even offered to help him reach that level, explaining that his former coach, Duke Roufus, taught him how to turn his natural tools and attributes into a more effective fighting style. Now, Woodley believes he can provide similar guidance to Khamzat if he's willing to listen. At the same time, Woodley knows exactly what he's going to be dealing with. He said he hasn't competed in wrestling for 16 years, so facing a young, explosive, and powerful opponent like Buckley was valuable preparation. In Woodley's eyes, Khamzat brings many of those same physical qualities, but with even more technical skill, creativity, aggression, and experience. After such a dramatic comeback, Woodley is entering the matchup with renewed confidence, and he clearly believes he's ready for the challenge. Move on to another news. Jiri Prochazka has officially pushed back against the recent rumors surrounding his next fight, making it clear that nothing has been confirmed yet. Jiri recently took to Instagram to share an update from his training camp. He described the past week as strong, highlighting the hard rounds, teamwork, and preparation with his team. He also mentioned spending some time with family and friends over the weekend before returning to training and starting another intense week. But the most important part of his message came when he addressed the speculation about his next opponent. Jiri told fans not to believe everything they see on the internet because his next fight has not been officially confirmed. According to him, the situation is still being worked on, and he wants to make sure everything is in place before any announcement is made. Jiri also emphasized how serious he is about his preparation this time around. He wants his training to be as thorough as possible, breaking everything down and going back to the roots of the skills and habits that have been part of him for years. He believes there are still multiple levels he can reach as a fighter, and right now, he's grateful that he can see those areas clearly. That mindset suggests Jiri isn't simply preparing for another fight. He's focused on continuing to evolve and becoming a more complete version of himself. And while fans wait for an official announcement, Jiri also gave them a glimpse of the physical work happening behind the scenes. In another post, he shared footage of himself deadlifting around 500 pounds, showing that his strength and conditioning work remains a major part of his preparation. So, despite the growing rumors about his next matchup, Jiri has made the situation very clear. The fight is not confirmed yet. Negotiations and preparations are still ongoing, and he remains fully focused on getting himself ready for whatever challenge comes next. Move on to another news. A potential matchup between Israel Adesanya and Anthony Hernandez is already getting attention, especially with both fighters currently facing difficult moments in their careers. Israel is coming off a 4-fight losing streak, and his recent struggles have raised questions about what should come next for the former middleweight champion. During a recent discussion, the idea of Hernandez facing Israel was brought up, and the matchup immediately received a positive reaction. The fight makes sense because both fighters have been dealing with setbacks, although Israel's recent run has been considerably tougher. From a technical perspective, the matchup could also provide Israel with an important opportunity to show that he can still handle an opponent who relies heavily on wrestling and grappling. The discussion pointed out that recent fights have demonstrated ways to stop takedowns with the right technique and positioning. That could be something Israel studies carefully if this matchup ever becomes reality. However, there is another major factor: physicality. Anthony Hernandez has shown that he possesses an incredible level of strength at middleweight. His ability to overpower opponents during grappling exchanges could create serious problems for Israel. In one recent sequence, Hernandez was able to lift and control his opponent despite being caught in a double leg position, using his raw strength to escape and reverse the situation. That's why some believe Israel could be at a physical disadvantage in the wrestling exchanges. If the fight happens, Hernandez would likely look to pressure forward, attack the legs with kicks, target the body, and mix in knees and other strikes to make Israel uncomfortable. For Israel, the challenge would be maintaining distance, using his elite striking, and preventing Hernandez from turning the fight into a physical grappling battle. It would be a fascinating clash between Israel's precision striking and Hernandez's relentless pressure and strength. And while nothing is confirmed yet, the matchup certainly offers an interesting path for Israel as he looks to snap his losing streak and rebuild his momentum in the middleweight division.